Guys, today I want to see something. Can an offensive lineman win MVP? Because I don't think they can. We tried a kick returner / punt returner. It did not work. And now I'm trying again with an offensive lineman. So I got rid of, every single good player in the NFL. I made them all punters. Quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, cornerbacks, linebackers, tight ends, you name it. I put them as punters so they cannot impact us at all. So here are the best players at every single position outside of offensive linemen. We have still some decent players in the NFL, right? I'm not going to sit here and say that all the players are going. They're not. There's still some decent ones. But as long as we have a good enough year, I think we can win MVP as an offensive lineman. Now, here's the problem. Offensive linemen, they usually don't do much, right? At the end of the day, it is what it is. They block, and that's it. Doesn't really put up any good stats. So, I had a theory. Not a game theory. You can use right tackles at tight ends. So, I could, in theory, go ahead and use one of my two right tackles as my tight end. Which would, in theory, again, not trying to say it a million times, give me the ability to throw him the ball and make him a receiver on offense. Now, the kick and punt returner problem was that there was no offense that was utilized, right? So that was the real issue there. Let me think real fast. I'm also going to put it on arcade mode, 15-minute quarters, for obvious reasons. And how I'm going to try to do this, because I could go out there and just keep on keeping on, like throwing the ball at the same player with the same quarterback. I'm not going to do that. Every single game, I'm going to change the quarterback. So I'm going to cut my current quarterback every single game and get a new one. Because if I just use the same quarterback, he's going to win MVP. Alright, take two. So I just tried this with another right tackle on our team and found out that that right tackle was hurt. So, yeah. I had to turn off injuries because, that kind of defeats the purpose here. We're trying to see how great our player can do, not get injured. Alright, so let's go. I don't know why he looks so funny to me. I mean, he's just a right tackle, but man. Okay, well, a quarterback does kind of suck. I just realized that as well. I don't know, he just looks so funny. He looks so funny for no reason. Alright, let's get it, boys. Come on. Give me time. Give me time. We have a good offensive line. Okay. I have an idea, right? If I slant all these guys and just have him go deep, he should be wide open. I could also put him on the outside, but, I didn't want to do that. Because, logic. Bro, you are a big body receiver. Outbox them. Fine, I'm just go the easy method. Hang on. I got the easy method. That one. That one right there. Is he? Okay, yeah, see, now this is the easy method. I just wanted him to catch the ball, in all honesty. I wanted to make sure he could actually catch the ball. Which he should, because he has really great receiving stats. Alright, I want you to go there. So now it's a one-on-one matchup. And who would want to go one-on-one on deep pass to a right tackle? So, little quick rundown. I'm going to do this like 1,000 times. So, I'm going to skip forward, guys. And yeah, we're going to see how many touchdowns we can get with this guy. Hang on. So, I think I found a little bit of an issue, okay? So, for example, Baker Mayfield, my punter, threw 454 yards and 6 touchdowns. But punters and kickers, their stats do not matter when it comes to the quarterback position. I learned that as well. In this game, I had 460 yards and 6 touchdowns for my right tackle. In the last 4 games, because I think I'm on the 5th game now, every game so far I've had 1,000 yards. This is one game I didn't have 1,000 yards. And the reason why is because I realize I don't know if these are counting or not. Here's why I say that. So when I go to here, right, I'm on week 4 right now. I had 3 1,000-yard games. You guys saw my first game. And then let's just look at this real fast. I went and looked at stats, right? So let me show you it this way. So I went and looked at stats from the stat menu right here after the last game. And I'm like, okay, well, you see my punter, their stats aren't counting, right? So if you have a punter, you throw touchdowns, they don't count toward the stats, even if they're on offense. Rushing, okay. Receiving, my right tackle isn't showing up. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe his stats then will be under his, actual player item. So you go to roster, you go to your right tackle. He's right there. Not this guy, but we're talking about this guy. And we look at his, what's it called? His stats. Where are his stats? Right here. Stats and contract. And I went to receiving. Nothing for career. And nothing also for season. So I thought, okay, well, that's probably because I'm not looking at the right guy. So let's look at this guy. If I go to receiving, career is nothing. And I look at season, nothing. So here's the problem. None of the stats I get are actually counting. And I'm going to sim the rest of the season. And I want to see if maybe hypothetically something goes correct here. But in theory, if they were counting, I had over 3,000 yards and over like 17 touchdowns. So I'm just going to sim the rest of the season because I'm not going to put a whole entire season and none of these stats actually count. This is very frustrating. At least with the punt and kick returner, the stats actually counted. I didn't know if you use an offensive lineman. I guess it makes sense because I think if you use a middle linebacker at tight end, which you can do, none of their stats will count. So it's like pretty much pointless. Like if you're just doing it just because you're like playing a game, you're like, oh yeah, let me do a trick play where I have my middle linebacker play. The stats do not count. Which in real life they do. In real life, if you throw it to a right tackle for a touchdown, if you throw it to a middle linebacker, you throw it to a guard, they're going to count their stats toward the player's overall stats. What's so stupid, right? And this is what really pisses me off, is the fact that they have the category for receiving, rushing, and passing. Why do you even have the category if they don't count no matter what they do? I don't understand that about EA right now. Why have the category for receiving, rushing, and passing if they're not going to count those said stats? Like, bro, EA can frustrate me so much sometimes. Alright, let me go over to stats for the year, and yeah. That's our stats of the year. Receiving-wise, we had none of our right tackles showing up. And I gotta just see what... Actually, let me see where... Before I look at MVP, right? Let me see NFL-wise. Nick Foles had 4,100 yards. Okay. Jameis Winston, 3,900 yards. Cooper Rush, 3,700 yards. 3,600 yards. Devin Singletary had 1,600 yards. I took out pretty much every player possible. I swear, it's literally Chris Olave, 1,600 yards. It's a next man up league. That's all this is, really. You take out all the best players, and all that means is somebody else is going to come in and be an absolute superstar. Yearly awards, Taylor Heineke won the MVP. None of our guys came in even close. So, to the question, can a offensive lineman win MVP? The answer to the question is absolutely no. And if you try to do it the way I did it, where you try to put the right tackle at tight end and utilize him in that aspect, then it's just not going to count the stats. So the stats will just not count and they will not matter. So for Grant here, even though he had over 3,000 yards, had probably the best receiving season of all time, it all does not matter because none of this actually goes through. Even though he has these categories, right? He has a receiving category, a rushing category, passing category. They give him these categories, but yet it doesn't matter. EA Sports. These matter in real life. Fix your damn game. I don't know. Tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.